Hello, everybody. This is RBR Short Films 13, aka Ryan, and I am doing a live stream for Wednesday night, December 29th. Basically, the end of 2021. This is a discussion about the year ending and basically talking about the new year. Everything about next year. What are your goals for next year? What movies are we look or is everybody looking forward to next year? Um, and yeah, just talking about that kind of stuff. And yeah, because I wanted to do a live stream on New Year's, but I'm gonna be with family on that day, so um, I don't think it would really work out live streaming because I kind of want to do it like this. And so this is kind of a New Year's live stream, but it's early New Year's live stream, even though yeah, because it'll be New Year's Eve in a couple days, but um, there's a lot going on, so this was like the best day to live stream um, about the new year. I'll make like a Happy New Year video. I'll make a Happy New Year video, when it's New Year's, but this is my New Year live stream. So, because I don't know when I'll be able to, I don't know if I'll be able to live stream, you know. So, I mean, I thought about it before live streaming and announcing I was going to live stream today. Because I was like, well, I'd love to do it on New Year's, but, I'm with family, so I don't want to I want to be able to spend time with family and not go back and forth to my platform, you know? So I thought a separate night doing this would be a lot more fun. Um, I almost thought about doing like, a live stream where it was like later in the night, maybe like at midnight or something, but a lot of people don't tune in that late. So, um, yeah. Anyway, hello, Mario Mania 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh, yeah, I hope you had a good Christmas as well. I had a great Christmas. I got to spend time with family, and celebrate it. And yeah, I watched Christmas movies and um, yeah. I mean, the only downside of this Christmas was that there wasn't snow. Snow is kind of like the icing on the cake of Christmas. And when there's no snow, it's like a cake without frosting for me. So it's like Christmas without the frosting. Um, I'm trying to use a metaphor, but yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yes. So, hope you had a great Christmas, Mario Mania. And are you looking forward to the new year? 2022. It's in 3 days. 3 days. We're in 2022. Yes, it was pretty nice. I'm hoping for a better year for the world. Yes, same. Um, yeah. I actually my next two movies, I mean, I went through rewrites throughout the pandemic, but now I'm thinking about maybe the characters in Insane Cage of Madness Part 2, The Devil Servants, that they're written like these movies take place now, you know, and it's during this. And it's characters trying to survive this, but also trying to do what they want to do. And I didn't want to incorporate, what's happening in our world right now, you know, in my films because movies you go to escape from reality, and you want to be in that fantasy world. But this is our reality, this is our world, and there's no ignoring it anymore. There's no avoiding it. It's there, and um, I've tried for a long time to try to make these movies without the way that I, thought that they could be made, but didn't know how people would react. Um, so I think I literally might write the characters where they like are all 6 feet away from each other. They're afraid to be like near each other. They talk from 6 feet away distance. You know, there's scenes of characters on their phone, um, scenes that where actor scenes would be filmed separately, like they'd be filmed here, or they'd be filmed here. Trick photography, kind of stuff where you feel like two actors are in the same scene. Um, and it would be really tricky. Everybody would wear a mask, um, and uh, I would stick to all the guidelines and try to make everything work, um, and make sure everybody is safe. Uh, but it's a difficult decision because that's not how these movies were ever originally intended to be. Um, you know, so now since things are different, maybe my movies need to be a little different. Maybe need to adjust to what's going on right now because now I'd be filming these movies now, and I don't want to delay these movies anymore that I already have. These films have pretty much have been delayed for 2 years. This March. Um, that's 2 years of delay. And I've never gone through a 2-year delay of any of my projects. So it's like, well, what can I do to avoid this delay from being longer? And it's also talking to the actors and finding out what can work, you know? So it's a lot of discussion. I'm having a lot of meetings with my actors, and we're still having to get more and more actors for the movies. But I think it's all possible. I think it all can happen. It just might have to be done a certain way, and maybe not necessarily the way that I wanted to, but maybe it has to. You know, like I have friends that are getting the new. I mean, I don't know if it's the new variant, but it's one of them, and it's still something we're living in right now. And we're not escaped from it. We're not away from it. We're all still living in it. And there's all you can do is just face it. You know. But what do you think, Mario Mania? Do you think that would work for the films, or are you kind of like, oh, just wait till this is all over with? Wait 3, 4 years when this is all over and you can actually make your films the way you used to make them. But then by that point, I'd be 30 years old, you know? Whatever would make a better film is good with me. Uh, well, yeah. Well, it's like I can still make them good films. I mean, since I'm the writer and the director throughout, it's like I know these characters, of course, better than anybody. I know this universe is better than anybody. In terms of my own characters, I'm not talking about my fan films. I'm talking about my own. characters. Um, I, 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 I mean, I've dealt with, you know, so many, sacrifices with my films in the sense that I've had to give up things in the scripts that I wanted to utilize, wanted to use, but I couldn't, and had to change things. Sometimes it would be for the better. Sometimes things would turn out better than it would be in the script, which that's happened with movies before. Where things don't work out as well on screen as they do in the script. Um, so I've run into that. I've run into a lot of things with my films. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it all. If you've been subscribed to me for a long, long time. But excuse me. I'm so sorry. Um, I want to make the movies the way that they were originally intended, and who knows, maybe a lot will change in 6 months, but I see us living in this for a long time, and it's not going to stop. There's any possible way, I'm not going to let it stop me from making my art. I mean, this gives me time to write, and all that, which, writing has been a lot of fun. But, I want to be there on set. I want to direct, I want to film these movies, and that way, like, once they're done filming, then I can edit them at home on my computer, my little studio, and that's that. You know, I just have to get the footage, and it's like, well, how do I get the footage? And um, I don't know. I feel like if I rehearse enough with the actors, like, well, I've been doing virtual meetings, where it's been like through FaceTime and stuff. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, I wanted to use Zoom, but the actors wanted to use FaceTime, so we used FaceTime, and that worked just as well. Um, and I just I remember right when this even started, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll change my scripts. And that's why there's a part one, actually, because I thought of the idea of shooting, part two and Devil Servants in the style of how our world is right now. And because it's like, well, the scientists and everybody are saying that this is going to be our reality forever. So am I just gonna, like, not do anything forever because of this? Or am I gonna do something, that could continue my art, could continue all this, but even though it wouldn't be necessarily the same as it, originally was intended. I can still pull off something though that could be really great, I mean, I'm the writer and co-director of Halloween New Blood, I'm the writer and director of The Devil's Servant, you know? I'm the director of the Insane series. I'm the writer and director of Ghostface versus Jason and the Miner versus Jason, a Ghostface story. Um, you know, so I have a lot of experience and yeah. Oh, true, we can't let this thing stop us from living our lives. Exactly. Hey, karaoke T. Hey, what's up? I'm doing all right. How are you? This is I guess this would be my New Year's live stream. Because I'm not going to really be able to do one on New Year's. Um, unless would it be lame if I did one on January 1st, like at night? Like, would that still be cool, or would that be too late? Like, are people not celebrating New Year's, on the first at nighttime? Because everybody celebrates it 31st into midnight, and on the first. So it's kind of like, would people really tune in, or do you think that that would still engage people? Would engage you guys? You know, um, or is this good enough? And making a video for New Year's uh, would be enough. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that, because I would love to. you know, really celebrate New Year's with you guys because it's been a long year. We got through this year, and it was almost, a harder year to get through than last year, 2020. This was a really challenging year because you'd be down for it? Okay. All right. I mean, it wouldn't be like a, 6 p.m. live stream. It would be a little later. It'd be like, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., leading into, midnight. So it'd be kind of like that 9 p.m., 10, 11, and then midnight. And that kind of ended on midnight probably. Right at the beginning of the second, you know, boom. Um, so as long as you guys would be available that day, um, you know, uh, but yeah, if I had no plans this year for New Year's, I would definitely just be doing a big live stream for you guys. I'm definitely gonna probably do one next year. I mean, it's gonna be one of these years. I'm gonna do one. It's just a matter of am I gonna be doing something on New Year's with family, or is it just gonna be by myself? You know. Um, but k- karaoke. I mean, is that how you spell karaoke? Sometimes I'm so bad with names or in words. um, it's so sad. Um, Karaoke tea. What do you think about? Well, have you seen my movies? Have you seen The Devil's Servant? Have you seen Insane Michael's Origin, Cage of Madness Part One? Because I know it's hard to have this discussion with people that have never even seen the movies. Um, so I don't necessarily knew I don't know everyone who has seen what is what. So which movie or not. Some people are subscribed to my channel just for my reaction videos. That's why I always expanded my channel, just from being movies, because, people are going to subscribe to you for other reasons as well. People want to see more content, oh, he does reaction videos. Oh, he does unboxing videos. It's to keep it fresh, keep it exciting, and, keep your channel, active, keep it going. And, keep your audience entertained. Um, Reaction videos have a huge audience on YouTube. They do. And I've seen, a big growth of that. I think reaction videos started to become big in 2015. Reaction videos have always been there. I even reacted to videos like back in 2010, 2011. And back then, when we did reaction videos, we didn't have the features where we could like put the clip of the trailer and play it at the same time, of our reactions. Um, so people would have to just guessing they would have to guess the trailer in their head when they watch the person's reaction. You know, so a lot that's changed a lot. So I saw a change in that in 2015, and it has expanded. Like I've seen now a huge ever since the pandemic, the reaction videos have gone up, like, even more. I mean, I definitely saw a lot in 2018, 2019, but now, I mean, it's sort of dominated YouTube, reaction videos, you know? Um, the only downside is a lot of them tend to be ingenuine, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's for money. The reason why people do it, those reaction videos, not the reason I do it. You guys can always tell my reactions are genuine, and I've heard that from people. I mean, people can just tell, because I'm not going to react to something and like have a fake reaction to it. When I did the reaction to the Child's Play um, trailers, I wasn't really too impressed with it. But then a couple things that I didn't think was too bad, I didn't deny that. So my reviews are going to be honest, Um, but I have noticed there's some channels that, like, their reactions are genuine. Some of them you can tell that they've seen the movie and really they're just reacting to it because they want to make a profit. And then there's ones that you can tell, not necessarily you can tell, maybe you can't tell, but they're that good of actors, that you truly believe that that's what that they've never seen this movie before or TV show before. Um, but it is kind of like you know, feeling when you get excited, for a YouTuber to react to something, but then you can tell they've already seen it, you know? And you can just tell by their reactions because the stuff that they're saying, it's like so scripted. And it's like, that's not what I would say when watching this movie. That's not how a lot of people would say this or that when they first would watch this kind of film. Everybody reacts to a movie differently, and I've learned that. But, a lot of times when people try to they act like that they haven't seen the movie yet they have, then they tend to be much harsher critics on it or I don't know. Everyone's different, so I can't put everyone in a box, you know? But yeah, some of them are genuine, some of them are not. And then, I say that's almost I'm not gonna say it's a problem about YouTube, but it's kinda toxic, you know? Um to have fake reactions to stuff. I mean, why even react to something fake? If you don't like it, then you don't like it, you know? I mean, don't pretend you like something just for, likes and all this stuff, you know? It's just it's not being independent, you know? It's sort of like watching a movie or TV show for the first time again. Yeah, I mean, it is fun when you do watch, you're able to, like, watch the movie, but not have you don't have to watch, like, the entire film when you watch someone react to a movie. So you're just seeing snippets, so it's kind of fun because you get to if you go to reaction video to reaction video, you're rewatching the movie again and again, but it's not the entire film, and every single reaction video, like, they always show different clips, different parts. Not every single reaction has the same, form of clips from the movie. It's, sometimes different sections of the film. Uh, so it is fun to watch, even if it's like, yeah, that person isn't genuine or not. It's fun. Um, but yep. um, I'm looking forward to whenever it comes out that Star Wars theory guy when he makes the second Vader fan film that he's been talking about um, the shards of the past was it the name of the first one something like that, and I loved it. My reaction was like 100% real. Like I was like shocked that it was a fan film and it was that done that well. I've never seen a Star Wars fan film that really grabbed me. I did like that Kylo Ren, Darth Vader fan film that came out. And I've seen a couple others, but it was just the effects and everything. Like it almost felt like a Lucasfilm TV series. It felt like a as if George Lucas was still involved with the franchise and stuff. Um, Yeah, and the creator, he did, see my reaction, and he commented and thanked me. So that was really cool. Um, and yeah, because he could tell my reaction was real, was genuine, People just know, you know? Um, and I just was blown away by it. And that was only a 15-minute short film, but, uh, I I I'm excited for what he's gonna do next. I know that with the pandemic and everything, it slowed everything down, and has affected a lot of things. So I think he's been pretty strong about it. And, I hope that he can, you know, get it made when he can get it done. Because I would love to react to it and have another reaction like that again. Because I know it's all gonna be, I know I'm gonna be blown away by it. So, um, and yeah, like when I did my reaction, that Joker trailer reaction, that was real. That was like insanely real. And then that Rise of Skywalker one where when I heard the Emperor's laugh, I lost it because that was almost as a shock as like the "I am your father" moment, and, uh, it's just hearing the Emperor's laugh, it's like, "What?" Because you hear Luke say, "No one's ever really gone," and then you hear that Emperor laugh, and I was like, "What? The Emperor?" And, I'm running around my room, I'm grabbing my lightsaber. Um, that Spider-Man: No Way Home trailer, that was real. Um, Child's Play ones were so real. Um, and, my god, I mean, pretty much all of them are. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why I would even fake a reaction. I mean, I did one reaction video, Halloween Kills, the final trailer. I saw the trailer before I reacted to that, but I already said in my video that I've reacted to it, and I was just reacting to whatever I could react to it a second time because that trailer wowed me. But anyway, um, do you see my comment? King V is a yes, I see your comment. Yep. I have always such a dead audience. I wish more people would join, you know. It's just a trend people ride on for money. Yeah, yep, pretty much. Pretty much. Oh, oh, I can't believe it's gonna be the new year, you know? It just seems like 2021 just starting to it seems like 2021 is just starting. Time goes fast. It does. It goes very fast. Um, Not necessarily a bad thing though. I don't mind if this pandemic goes quick. I hope so. And then when we live in a much better reality, we're not things slow down a bit. Life feels a little slower. Let's hope. You know. Uh, I don't know. I think that with the human brain, the human mind, there's something so powerful about it. I think the more your brain gets adjusted to everything, stress, uh, uh, anxiety, fear, anger, uh, depression, um, uh, so many things about what you go through as an adult and your life, basically growing up, you know, uh, going through puberty, you experience all this stuff and it's overwhelming and it's so much to take at first, which is why as a teenager you go crazy because it hits you like nothing. It comes out of nowhere, and it's like boom. Um, and there comes I guess a certain point in your life once you've adapted to so much of all of that, the reality of life, um then I think things go faster because and time goes faster because you've gotten adjusted to everything. Things aren't as unknown or um scary because you've already dealt with the fear, the anxiety, the everything, your entire life. So things become a little more tolerable the older you get, and uh, things do go faster because you're adjusted to everything, you know. Um, but when you're a kid, everything's new. You don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on. So of course things feel a bit slow, you know. Um, but yeah, it changes when you get older. The older and older you get, it's like the older you get, the faster everything goes. Um, but I don't know. I've had times where, um, things have gone slower than I would expect it to. So, you know, um, time started going faster for me during high school, college. Yep, that's when things start to go really fast. Like they tell you in eighth grade that high school is going to go really, really quick, and you don't really believe them at first. Nobody does, because before you get to ninth grade, life doesn't go that quick. It goes at a certain pace. And then when you get to high school, um, then it's like, oh wow, this is all going very fast. This is quick, 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 and that's puberty. You know, that's when you're getting adjusted to everything going fast. Will you keep the live stream? Yes, I will. I pretty much keep all my live streams. So, um, yeah, anybody tuning in, welcome, guys. This is my sort of my New Year's live stream, even though it's not New Year's. It's basically talking about the end of 2021. Things to look forward to for next year. I think I'll be making a New Year's video, of course, a New Year's video, but I might make a New Year's another night, excuse me, another New Year's live stream on the first. So, um, we'll see. I definitely would like to do that. It's just a matter of are people going to tune in, and stuff. So, because I would love to do a live stream like on the 31st, like leading into midnight, and like you're all with me when, the ball drops, and all that, But, yeah, I can still do something really cool, I'll try, after, the 31st. But, hope all you guys had a great holiday. I hope everyone had a good holiday. Everybody's doing good. Um, and any New Year's resolutions? Yes, I do have New Year's resolutions, actually. Um, uh, number 1 would probably be getting my booster. I'm gonna be getting my booster. The other one would be, um, I'm actually gonna become vegetarian. I tried it once being a vegetarian when I was 14, and it was all right. But then after I was 14, I went back to just eating meat. Um, but I don't know. I'm curious as like, can I go through a whole year, with, fruits, vegetables, and just all healthy food, And I think about my health. I think about the older I get, and life is really short, and I want to keep myself, you know, um, healthy, and uh, I have eaten a lot of junk food, more so the past few years. I mean, I think a lot ever since I've moved out here, but pretty much my whole life I've eaten junk food. Like I've eaten, I mean, I've eaten healthy foods and I've eaten healthy meals and it's all been there. But I've eaten a lot of McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell and all those places, and it's just kind of like I'm just kind of like it'd be nice to maybe a better idea to you know to avoid all that junk food, and then you wonder, does that junk food make you feel a certain way? Like, maybe I would feel less depressed, if I didn't eat so much junk food, or if I didn't have so much sugar. So I think about that. And, I also Alzheimer's runs in my family on my dad's side. So it's something to worry about as well, because I took psychology in school and they talk about, it's good to start preventing Alzheimer's in your early 30s. And I figure, gee, why don't I just get a head start? You know, because I've known family that have had it, and it's a horrible thing. I mean, I guess it's like dementia. And I just I even though you don't know, I guess you have it, when you get old, but I don't want it. I wanna be able to remember, my last few years of life, I don't want to, I don't want that to be I don't wanna go into a coma like that, because it's not even a coma, where you like you say you get hit by a car and you're in a coma. It's not that kind of coma. It's your brain is not there anymore, and I wanna be able to, avoid that. So, I think eating healthier foods, exercising more, is important. Problem is, with the pandemic, the gyms, are so complicating with, they open, they close, they reopen. Um, so it's been hard to get into the gym ever since the pandemic. Um, but yeah, and I don't like really go to the gym, but I'm not necessarily against it. I remember when my grandfather he worked somewhere where they always had like a bunch of gyms, um, and not a bunch of gyms, but there was a lot of gym stuff, and there was a weight room and exercise room. And growing up, I was able to just exercise there. I didn't have to go anywhere. Um, you know, but I do a lot of push-ups. I do a lot of sit-ups, and I do a lot of walking. Um, so I do that kind of exercise, and I'm going to continue that exercise. Because walking, push-ups, sit-ups, they all work. And I was taught how to do push-ups correctly and sit-ups, like in gym class growing up. So yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, I've never been like this. I've always been so scrawny. So the fact that I have muscle now is like, it's a big deal for me, and it's done a lot to my shoulders and my back. Like it's like it's like a almost like a different body when you get into shape. Um, uh, I want to cut soda out of my diet. I'm a bit of a caffeine addict. Yeah, I'm really bad at caffeine too. I drink a lot of soda. That's something that I need to focus on too, because I had a Mountain Dew addiction for a while. When I first moved out here, um, I drank nothing but Mountain Dew, and I had cans of Mountain Dew and Mountain Dew upon Mountain Dew upon Mountain Dew. I was obsessed with Mountain Dew, and I don't know why, um, but I just had a such as unhealthy craving for it, and eventually I stopped. And I drank like the gingerbread snap Mountain Dew that came out for the holidays. So I've drinking a lot of Mountain Dew during the holiday season. I've had a lot of sweets and cookies and candy and all that because I just love that stuff during holiday time. But it's all stuff to look out for and pay attention to. Because I'm 26. But you know anything can happen, and uh, I don't want to risk my health. You know, and we're learning so much since the pandemic about health and all these things. From scientists, we've heard all these new things that people are also they're listening, they're paying attention more, and more aware. And that's all amazing stuff to me. Any like advancements ever in health, and seeing people more worried about their health and wanting to take care of their health is just really cool. um but anyway, my grandfather had Alzheimer's. I don't wish that on anyone. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't wish it on anyone either. It's uh I couldn't imagine, you know but like the family members that I've known that have had it, they don't know what's happening, they don't know what's going on. So they're not miserable, they're not depressed. They're just not there. They're there, but not there. It's just it's I don't know how to explain it. Mountain Dew always made me extremely jittery, but it's so delicious. I love Voltage. Yes. Yep. I gotta have Mountain Dew here and there, like, even though I'm gonna cut down on soda, doesn't mean I'm gonna give up on soda. Um, so I'll still have, like, eggs and, certain foods because 'cause I'm not going vegan. I could never go on that vegan diet, that whole I mean, the food just sounds disgusting. If you read that whole diet menu or just read the diet of keto, or whatever you call it. Um, I just could never go on a diet like that. It's just that's such a boring way to live, I'll be vegetarian any day over vegan. So so that is a New Year's resolution. Another one. Well, the biggest one. Ooh, sorry. Is to get my movies made. Is to get my movies filmed. The Devil Servants, Cage of Madness Part 2, to actually get those recorded, you know, so I can finally, edit them, get them out on YouTube, and expand my channel. Uh, you know, um, it's a terrifying, thought because I feel like we're gonna go into another lockdown, guys. I think we're gonna go into another lockdown. I think it's gonna happen. I don't want it to, but I think we're gonna get into another lockdown, and it's gonna be 2020 all over again. Um, and I don't think it'll be as bad. I don't think the lockdown will be as long. Um, I see like a half a year lockdown. I don't see a full year lockdown. Um, but that's gonna suck, you know, because then that's having to wait months, months, months all over again to be able to film my movies, and I don't got green screen, and all that stuff. Like I don't have a thousand crew members, where there's all these possible ways of making these films. I've just never run into this. I've never run into this. I've made 20 short films in my lifetime. We go back from 2009 all the way to now. Um, I've never went through this. I've dealt with movie delays. I've dealt with a lot of this stuff, but not on this level. And um, there's just no way around it. Yeah, like I always have a plan A, plan B, plan C. All my movies, I would always have a plan A, B, C. Um, and there is no plan, with how what's going on. It's kind of like if I can make my movies, then that's a miracle, for what we're in right now. I really hope not. It really messes with people's mental state. I know it does, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it's the inevitable. I'm not gonna say I'm a psychic, but a lot of my predictions uh, uh, come true. I'm very good at predicting the future. So, just like I remember, I think in my head I was like, I think something really bad is going to happen in 2020. I think there's something that is going to be so extreme in the beginning of 2020 that's just going to like set the stage of how the whole decade is going to go. Now, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know that that was a virus or anything like that. It really could have been anything. And I thought really like what that was going to be other things. But yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised it ended up being a virus. But I knew 2020 we were in for something really bad. I just didn't know. I had just had this sixth sense feeling. I don't know for a long time, and then it happened. I think that's why I was filming my movies and filming this movie because I'm like, guys, I feel like something really bad is going to happen in the next few years, and Let's not waste any time. And then what do you know? So, um, I hate to be right, you know. I hope I'm wrong, about next year, but I think we're in for a 2022 lockdown, and I don't think it'll be as long as the previous one because a lot of people are vaccinated, people are getting the boosters. Uh, Pfizer's creating, the vaccine for the new variant. So, you know, um, it's we're not going to be. It's not going to be as there's going to be not as many restrictions. It's only going to be temporary. It's not going to be a 2-year kind of situation again. I don't think. Uh, I think people are in desperate need of some normalcy. Of course, I'm in desperate need of normalcy. I would love normalcy. I think all of us would love that right now. I think we would all love this all could just go away, and we all could just live 2018, 2019 the way the world was. It wasn't perfect at all. We had our problems, but it wasn't this, you know? And I'll take what 2018, 2019 was any day over this. Any day. Because at least I had more freedom in my life, and I could make my films, and I could live. I could live my life really. I could really live my life. And things were going really, really well before the first lockdown that we were in. Um, that I was doing really well. Like that was probably the best I was doing, even though that I was still. I mean, I was. I'm always going through a lot and dealing because I have PTSD, so I'm always dealing with that. But um, uh, my life looked like it was going in a really good direction, and everything was falling into place as well. So it was almost kind of like the Titanic for me. This was almost kind of like the Titanic. Everything was finally, my life was finally there, where I always wanted it to be. And then boom, the this Titanic ship hit the iceberg, and then now we're on a sinking ship. I feel like we're literally on a sinking ship. We're on like the Titanic. The way people were panicking in that movie and people were running and going crazy and there's all this and that and that. People taking it seriously, not taking it seriously. We're on the Titanic right now, and we're on the sinking of the Titanic. It's slowly sinking. And it's not until I don't know how we're going to get to, normalcy ever again. That kind of normalcy. I hope we can. But then once we get there, then the ship will rise up, and the sinking will be over with. But until then, it's gonna keep sinking and sinking and sinking. Nice analogy. Thanks. Yeah, I seem to be good with analogies. I don't know. Maybe because I'm a screenwriter. And as a screenwriter, you have to make sure your characters, have good analogies in your dialogue. So maybe I had to study analogies growing up. um, but yeah, we all want what 2018, 2019 was, but even better, of course. Um, but that was like, I mean, you compare it, you know, then to now, and it's like that was almost like we were, I don't know, I'm not going to say it was, I don't know what the word would be. Um, it was Alice in Wonder World. No, let's see. It was Candyland, or would be the word. Uh, Disney World compared to this, you know? Um, it's kinda like after 9/11, we really never get 100% of our freedoms back. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's sad, and I'm just wowed that I'm still here. I never got the virus, and never had to go through. I never had to go through it. I've had tons of family members and friends that have gotten it. Um, but thankfully I never did. Um, I think I have this certain immune system. I get it from my dad. Um, but like I never got the flu. I think I only got the flu when I was 7, and that was it. I think that was the only time I ever had the flu. And but anytime I would ever get sick, it'd be those 24-hour bugs. And that was it. Um, I always would be around people that were sick when I was growing up. Uh, People coughing, sneezing, everything, and I wouldn't always get sick. Um, so I don't know. I feel like I'm one of the rare people. Me and my dad are very in those rarity of people that have like that really strong immune system that like we can just fight back. Our bodies can I don't know whatever can fight back against this stuff. Because if I didn't have that, then I would have got sick all the time, um, for sure. Uh, Now my sister doesn't have that. She easily gets sick. Um, but uh, I haven't had a 24-hour even bug um, in like 6 years. So when was the last time? I think that was 2016. I had a 24-hour bug. So that was 4 years ago and 5 years ago. So I don't really ever get sick. It's rare. And if I ever do, it's never the flu or this or that. So, but we're still learning all these new things about, this new virus, and I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to go get yeah, I'm already vaccinated, but I'm going to go get my booster and do what I need to do. Whatever we got to do to get back to, you know, any form of what it was, you know. My aunt got it last Christmas. She's really the only one I knew who got it. Yeah, my sister got it. My sister my sister got it. That terrified me. That scared me when, uh, when I found that out. I'm really sorry to hear that, though, by the way. Um, my aunt also got it too. Um, yeah, so my sister got it, my aunt got it, a couple of my cousins got it, um, and then a lot of friends, I know got it too. No one died from it, um, but, yeah, so, um and then you'd be amazed by some people that will get it, and they refuse to, still get vaccinated after, you know, that happens to them. It's, uh, it's just wowing to me. Um, anyway, um, yeah, let's hope that 2022, um, you know, it's like I don't even know what to say though because when I did a 2020 video, when I made a video in 2020 about 2021, I said it's going to be worse than 2020, and but I said, oh, let's hope that it's not, you know, and I don't know. I almost would say 2020 and 2021 are tied. They're both just as bad because there's like pros and cons to both of those years. Um, but I would say 2021 is more psychological than 2020 because at least in 2020 we were all in a pandemic and we all just had to survive. This is like, you go here, you don't need to wear a mask. You go here, you have to wear a mask. It's now become so like what is going on kind of, uh it's turned into like a movie, you know. And 2020 was almost kind of like the prelude to this, um but I mean, they're very similar years, you know. Um, I'm glad they're all doing okay. Thank you, Mario Mania. Yeah. Um, I'm glad my sister is doing well. She got vaccinated and she's getting her booster and stuff. So yeah. Um, I just can't believe that I've that many people in my life have gotten it. It's it's no joke. You know. Um, so I've worn my mask on flights. I've worn my mask in stores. Like anytime I go somewhere, I'll wear a mask. Um, uh, I even sat through Spider-Man: No Way Home with a mask on, and I didn't care. I didn't care. I was there for the movie. I remember when Justice League came out, the Snyder Cut. I was like, if they release that in IMAX, I'm going and I'm wearing a mask. I don't care. I'll sit there for 4 hours watching it. Because I'm not gonna let this all stop me from living my life. It's you can't let it stop you. Unless we're in a lockdown. Then there's nothing you can do. You know, um, but yep. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope we don't get into another lockdown. But I see 2022 as being the second lockdown. You know, because then don't they say that eventually there's going to be a variant that's going to be incurable? There's not going to be a vaccine for it. That doesn't sound good, by the way. You know, that doesn't sound like a. That sounds like that our planet doesn't have a lot of time left. Not our planet, people don't have a lot of time left. Um, if that means that they, this virus will eventually be incurable because the more it mutates, the more deadly it becomes, and who knows what it's going to turn into thanks to it being able to mutate. And when a virus mutates, it can turn into something way more dangerous, deadly, horrific than you could imagine. Um, so you think about uh, hopefully the variants keep getting weaker and weaker. Same, but tends to be the opposite with viruses because they mutate, they become stronger, and they become harder to cure. Um, and the more the virus spreads, the more it's going to mutate and mutate and mutate. And God, it just does not look like a good future. You know, it's just I'm scared. I am scared. I'm scared. I really am. I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life ever. I don't think I've ever been so terrified. And like I'm the writer, director, horror filmmaker, but this is more horrific than any of my movies. You know, I mean, this is horrifying. Because none of my films are about this. Um, so it's like, oh God, you know. Um, I feel bad for the kids that have to grow up through this. I know. I have family, that I have cousins that are, you know, 6, 7, 8 years old, even younger. Uh, ones that are they're teenagers. I can't imagine what they're going through, and during this. And now, they're all they don't know. It's like this is kind of their world, you know. And uh, yeah, it just they handle it a lot better than I guess you'd think. I don't know. Kids seem pretty strong about this, wearing masks. Um, they seem to be better at handling, dealing with having to wear masks than a lot of these immature adults. um, but it's really sad because and it makes me grateful that I lived the time that I did. um, Over now, being a kid now, that I was a kid in 1995 and not a kid in 2021. because I was able to experience Blockbuster, VHS, um, the movie experience, before there was Netflix, before there was, um, all these things, before there was, iPhones, and social media and all this stuff that has, damaged our world. Um, it was you know, um, I'm glad I got to live that simpler time, because we'll never get that back. That's gone. It's in the past, you know, and I can just all I can do is be grateful that I got to live that and live a time where it wasn't so everything had to be politically correct, you know. So it was, yeah, and people got along more. I remember people got along a little bit better. People were a little more friendly to each other, and I don't know. Now everybody's so opinionated, and everybody has their own opinion about everything. I don't know. People are so a lot more distant with each other than they used to be, and then also social media doesn't make that any easier. Um, you know, it's very easy, like with social media to not be around people, a lot more. Before there was social media, people had to be around people and all that. There was nothing else to do, you know, like now. And back then, all there was AOL Messenger, and that was it. And not and not everybody had computers, and the only reason people had them was for work, was for business, was for uh, Photoshop for artists, a DVD player, you know, but things like that, uh, um, and be able to browse the web, do some research, and back then Wikipedia was way more popular than it is now, and yeah, I mean that's what originally was used for. The iBook, that thing was cool. That iBook back in 1999 that came out, the clamshell, or we call it, had the tangerine blueberry colors. That was awesome. You know, uh, I'm just also a big fan of 2000s, the late 90s and like the early to like mid 2000s were kind of like my favorite. Because that's when we had DVD. That's when it first came out. That's when it was such a big deal. We had Blockbuster. There was the PS2, the original Xbox, the GameCube. You're able to rent games from Blockbuster, rent movies, and it was an event. You go to Blockbuster, you would go get a movie. You would go through the library selection. You would go through the DVDs and look at the cover arts and read the synopsis. Um, that was before you could watch a movie trailer. So you would have to. Um, those clamshell iBooks are really cook looking. Yep. I would love to have had a uh, iBook. That those things seem really cool. Um, and I don't know the technology. It wasn't now, so we still had. I mean, it was computers, and there was this, there was that, and that, and that, and consoles and all that. But you know, um, I don't. And consoles aren't the problem. I'm not gonna blame, video games or consoles or whatever, that's not the issue, it's social media. It's social media, um, that's the, cause of the fall of human communication in person, uh, would be a good way to explain it. Um, Basically, divide to divide to divide to divide, and, I don't know how much more we can be divided, like. And I hate to see this too because I don't want us people divided. It just sucks. Anyway, um, but yeah, I really hoping 2022 is going to be a good year. It might surprise all of us. Maybe 22 will be that year where we're like, wow, a lot has changed since 2020. Things are a lot better. Things are really improving, even though we had to step back for a little bit. There's we're heading in the right direction. And hopefully that's what the year will be. Um, but I would say that I'm not really looking forward to any year until 2023, to be honest, because I don't know. I feel like next year it's gonna be this, you know, all over again. I was dread scrolling though Twitter, LOL. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Twitter used to be cool, you know? I love Twitter back in the day. I joined Twitter. Twitter was the first social media network I joined. Um, YouTube and Twitter were the first ones. I mean, originally there was live video. Live video does no longer exist, and I don't think anybody really knows what live video is, which kind of like for me, it makes me feel like I know something nobody else does, even though it was a popular website when it came out. Um, but there was that. There was MySpace. There was Stickcam. There was all those different sites, and they all went away. I mean, MySpace is still there, but you know what I mean. Uh, and now, and YouTube, I was awesome when it first came out as well. You know, um, and then when you get to the 2010s, that's when everything changed. With social media. Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and everything just became you know I don't. I mean, it's sad because these social media sites they were good once. Facebook, I was never a big fan of Facebook ever. I did have a Facebook account for a while, and then I think I deleted my Facebook account because I just didn't like Facebook. But that was back then. That's when you could delete your Facebook. Now it's like, why delete it when your whole family's on there? Everybody's on there. It's kind of like you have to have one. You know, um, and yeah, it's now also become such a need. You have to have a Facebook, you have to have a Twitter, you have to have an Instagram, you have to have a TikTok. I mean, I don't even, and I've seen some funny stuff on TikTok, but I would always go to YouTube for, you know, to watch good comedy, to watch good humor, even if that was fast cut videos. You could find that on YouTube, and there was those vines for how long, those YouTube vines and tons of other videos. I just never thought they would ever create a site that's just for that kind of Vine, stuff. I mean, it's kind of brilliant, but it's just, it's too much social media, you know, and you never see anything anywhere, even on social media saying, "Hey, bunch of people should all hang out at a park together and get to know each other and all talk to each other and yada yada yada." They don't ever promote that and promote that kind of way of living is to be living out there in the world. It's all about living inside, living, in your computer and um, you know, uh you know, there are good things about it, such as if they're, like people want a platform, like cooks, artists, all different kinds of people that want to have a platform, that's great. That's not the problem, you know. Uh, the problem is the people are talking to each other more on social media than in person. Now, with this pandemic, it's the only time it really makes sense. This is the only time where it to me, it works and it's understandable, and it is a great way for all of us to be able to communicate during this time. Um, but I really hope that, when we reach a certain point of normalcy, if we do get there, that people are around each other more in person. and hanging out with each other, and it's not as so much social media. Maybe it'd be cool if like the social media websites were like mad at people for not being as interested in, being on the website so much. What if the numbers dropped and people went out more, Just even if that was going out for a walk. I mean, these sites have put people literally if I made them isolated. I mean, there's that diagnosis. I don't have it, but there's that internet personality disorder, right? Um, it should be called social media personality disorder. I feel like that's something that's going to become a reality. Um, and because I remember I, my anxiety got bad in high school because I have generalized anxiety disorder and PTSD, but I could swear that the internet, not the internet, social media, when when it started to become bigger and bigger and bigger, I had more anxiety. I noticed that. And I think it was because that's when our world was going through that change where people were less hanging out with each other after school, and getting to know friends. Instead, people would go home and they go on their Twitter or their Facebook, and you know, that was that. Um, and that's all that time wasted where, you know, people could have easily got to know each other and become good friends, and instead, people want to just go home and go on their phones, or and uh, I'm never going to deny the pros to those things. There are amazing things about iPhones, you know, such as notes, our alarm clock, calculator, stuff that's on iPhones that are absolutely, it's brilliant. You can access, yes, all these apps instantly. You can message people, you can FaceTime them. There's certain things that are really great, about about the technology. Um, Virtual reality is an amazing thing, and it can be very therapeutic for a lot of people. There are some really great things about technology. I love video game consoles. I love computers. That's those things aren't the problem. I love that I can edit my movies and I can put films together, and that I have this technology for it. Those are not the downsides. Those are the good sides of it. And I guess you have to, by this point, you have to look at the good things and focus on those than the bad things when it comes to all this technology now, because it's not going to change. It's not going to go away. We're just going to get more and more and more of it. So all you can do is just appreciate what uh, you know um, uh, what is good about it. The only reason I haven't deleted Facebook, oh, I used to stream on Blog TV when I was a kid. I met a lot of cool people there. Oh, okay. I never I never heard of Blog TV. Um, the only reason I haven't deleted Facebook is because of PMs with family. Exactly. And also I have my Facebook page for my YouTube channel. I have to promote my movies. I have to, it's like you have to have that stuff now. It's like, oh, you like my YouTube, then you can go to my Twitter, you can go to my Facebook, you can follow me on there, you can see other things. It's kind of like I have to. But then also I have all my family is on there. All my family is on Facebook. And sometimes that's only way I can get a hold of family. Maybe I don't have everybody's phone number, or it's hard to get a hold of them through their phone. And the easiest way is through Facebook. They should delete social media for a year as an experiment and see how the quality of life improves for people and culture as a whole. That would be really awesome. I don't think I don't think actually a lot of people would take it well, because it's become our world for so long. To take it away, you know, I think people go crazy. I think they'd absolutely go crazy, because it's it's been built in our world this long, all this new stuff. social media. Um, uh, but yeah, I would love that. I would love if they got rid of social media. I would love that. I'm done with it. You know? I'm done with it, seriously, I would love a year break from it, And then it's like you can step away from your social media. You have to go on there, you have to post things, you have to message people, you have to be up to date, It's not you can just walk away from it. So it's almost like a task, it's not something fun to do anymore. Um, Especially if these sites are not the way that they used to be. That's when it was fun, you know, um, when the sites were good. So, true, I think YouTube would be the hardest for me to give up. Best jukebox in the world. Yeah, um, YouTube would be hard for me to give up because that's my life, you know? It's been my life since now we have to remember, it wasn't always my life. I had a life, 14 years before my channel, and, you know, uh, so I've lived reality before that, you know? Um, I've lived the world before that, but yeah, it's become part of my life, and, I would have never known people like you, Mario Mania, and plenty of other people, um, you know, uh, to the fact that I was able to make my movies, I was able to actually edit my films, add music, sound effects, and then put it on this platform, create a channel. And creating a channel back then on YouTube was the best because you could actually customize it, like customize it. You could have any background. It was like MySpace, where you could have any background with like color designs of your page, and certain boxes that would be in certain colors. You could choose whatever. And originally, my YouTube channel was like all red. It was like red and black and stuff. It was really cool. And then YouTube was one day was like, "Yep, sorry, we're taking all that away. You can have a picture in your background on your channel, but that's about it." It's like they Facebooked it. They made it. They commercialized it. Or made it less. Um, what would be the word? Um, User friendly, I guess. Um, but that's where I've got all my subscribers. I got all my likes. I got all the five, 4.5 stars out of 5 ratings. Uh, uh, comments, um, all the likes. So much. It's been a big, big part of my life. For it it's hard to imagine it not existing. You know, and you spend all that time, to make all those movies, I couldn't imagine losing all of it. It, it that would suck because you know, because then I would feel like it was for nothing. You know, I think I had a picture of Billy the puppet from Saw as my background. That was during my Saw phase. Yeah, yeah. I mean, YouTube was very friendly, to their users back then. And now they're like, nope, you got to listen to us. We're in charge of you. We're God, you know? So that's where we're at. So, what movies are you looking forward to next year, Mario Mania? Okay. Sometimes I don't know what to say because I talk a lot, so sometimes I have to like pause and not know what to say for a little bit. Scream 5, Halloween Ends, hopefully more original horror films. Yeah, because everything is sequels, you know. Even though it is nice to get a Scream sequel, a Halloween sequel, I mean, I don't mind it at all. Like, I'll take a Scream 5, Scream 6, Scream 7, Scream 8. I'll take a Halloween Ends and, many, many, many more Halloween films after. Um, because Halloween is a great franchise, and it's got great characters, and it's a world that I wanna see consistently. Um, and, uh And then what I want is a 5 Friday the 13th movies, I wanna see them do, like, a Paranormal Activity thing. I want Paramount to do that all over again. It's just a movie every year, because Friday the 13th hasn't been around for, next year's gonna be 13 years. The franchise hasn't been around, so I would love a bunch of sequels. I would love a bunch of sequels to Nightmare on Elm Street, even though I think Nightmare on Elm Street could be a TV series, my opinion. I think it would work better as a television show by this point than, just like Chucky. Chucky works so well as a TV show. I think Nightmare on Elm Street uh, would 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 do really great as a TV show. I think it would do a lot better, than as a film because it's more complex. Like Friday the 13th works as a movie, because that's that. Halloween works well for a movie because that's that. But you have characters like Chucky, Ghostface, Freddy Krueger. They work well for movies and for shows. You know, I don't know, my opinion. Um, I would love to see more original horror films. It'd be great. If we saw more originality. Now so much is a product. People just want to make what's been done. That's where profit is, I guess. I think we're living in a very nostalgic time where people love nostalgia, which is why the sequel trilogy was the way it was with Star Wars. People want nostalgia, and that's just kind of like what people like right now. Um, Now, from I remember, in the 2000s and the early 2010s, people weren't all about nostalgia. People did want originality. Um, and now people want, what's been done, you know. It's like people are fine with it now, instead of, oh, they should make something original like this. They should make something original like that. Um, People have just come to acceptance that we're just gonna keep seeing the same stuff again and again, forever, you know. um, But cinema always changes, movies always change, and that's been shown, Are movies like the night were movies in the 1980s the same as they were in the 90s? No. Or were movies in the 2000s the same as they were in the 90s? No. Were movies in the 2010s the same as they were in the 2000s? No. Are even movies now in the 2020s like the way movies were in the 2010s? I can always say that they are similar because this decade has just started, you know. Um, but let's see where movies take us by the year 2025, 2026, Um, we might see a huge shift, huge change in movies and cinema. You know, A24 usually does really good at putting out some interesting ones. Okay. So are they a studio for for slasher films, like original slasher movies, or just movies in general? Because I think I've heard of them, but I haven't really heard of them. All right. Oh, they did films like uh Witch, It Follows, Hereditary, Misdemeanor. Oh, okay. That's really cool. It's always the best too is when James Wan does something new and fresh, when he always comes out with something new and original. Like when The Conjuring came out, it was like, "Oh my god," you know? Um, I can't wait till, he comes out with something entirely new, you know? Um, yeah, it would be nice to see filmmakers, take more risks, you know? I think it's more so that it's not them, it's the studios. They don't wanna take the risks because they don't wanna lose money because I guess there's been, a pattern in history where, you know, studios have tried to do different kinds of movies, original movies, and then, they bombed, and they put all millions of dollars into that film. May have came a point where with a bunch of studios where they're like, "Hey, let's just do what's been done and that's what people like and let's do it right," you know? Um, and I feel like that's where studios are at is they just want to make these franchises, they want to do them right, great production value, acting. They want it to be on like a level that you've never seen before, which I think is why we're getting like Spider-Man No Way Home, and Justice League, the Snyder cut, and we're getting Joker, and um, we're getting all these kinds of movies, that they may have not have been good movies that they were made back in the 80s, Um, we have to also look at that too. Is superhero movies weren't able to be made in the way that they can now. So it's almost like, oh, finally, these films can be made and be done the way that they should have been done 30 years ago, you know? We're seeing things that we never thought we'd ever see with these kinds of, movies. So I think once I don't know, once studios get tired of doing it, then they'll move on to other stuff, you know? But I guess it's just gonna be a thing for a long time, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, you know? Um, I don't see them going away, anytime soon. Uh, they're always going to keep coming up with new storylines and new this and new that. That's why they're introducing the multiverse in both universes of Marvel and DC. They might create a multiverse for Star Wars, all we know. That way it's like then the sequel trilogy can be non-canon, or whatever. Like they might do something like that. Um, I feel like that a lot of franchises are gonna do the multiverse kind of thing. That way it's you can create multiple versions of a character, and you're not sacrificing, another franchise over over it or something. Um, so I definitely think that No Way Home is going to change movies from here on out, and The Flash. I feel like those films are really going to change a lot how movies are made. Um, what did you think of uh, *Malignant*? I haven't seen it. I know it was on HBO Max, and I wanted to watch it, but I just never got around to it. I think that came out at the time when Halloween Kills came out as well. Um, so and when Halloween Kills came out, that's when I was the only movie I was obsessed about at the time. Multiple versions of a character. What about multiple versions of Corona? Can't wait for the Cardi B variant next X. I'm gonna watch *Malignant* eventually. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna get around to watching it. Yeah, but I haven't watched it yet, but I definitely would like to because it looked interesting. I just don't know why I haven't got around to it yet. And thank you for joining the live stream, David K. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm not ending the live stream. I'm just saying thank you guys for tuning into the live stream. It's a very interesting film. Okay. Yeah. I'll have to definitely watch it for sure. Be a dear Ryan, honey, and get me some. God. Oh, sorry, David, that you have COVID. Really, really sorry. So yeah, I don't think really until 2023. Uh, so many people are getting it. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah. I don't think we're gonna really be in a. We're not gonna get back to any kind of normalcy till 2023. Maybe it'll take longer than that. I think 2022 is just gonna be. It's gonna be more this. You know, restrictions, no restrictions, this, that, lockdowns, no lockdowns. Um, I don't think it's gonna be 2020. You know, but I think it'll be on kind of the level of how this year was. Might be slightly better, or it might be slightly worse, but I think it'll be on that 2021 kind of level of how the world is. Um, so yeah, I don't think really that anything's going to change majorly till 2024. You know, something stuff I don't want to hear and nobody wants to hear. But we're living in this now. This is our reality. This is our world, and there's no walking away from it. And denying it exists. So, I mean, it's crazy. I think I may have had the flu. I think I had the flu when I was 7, and then other than that, I always had like a 24-hour bug. Um, but I always were around people that were sick growing up. But I would never get sick though. So it's weird. Even as an adult, or I just always like growing up, and now like being around people that are sick, like I just don't get sick. It takes a lot for me to get sick. So, but with this new virus, I'm not risking it. Uh, because I mean, we're still learning about it. It's not like all the previous viruses that have been around for 100 years that have been studied. Michael Myers had to wear a mask for 40 years. Everybody else better, unless it's the Halloween H2O mask. You know what? I got something really funny. Hold on. I got something cool. Actually got this for My birthday. I don't think I've ever really tried it before, but here we go. This is my Michael Myers, uh, social distance mask. Yep. Yep. Anyway, so I'm prepared to wear a Michael Myers mask if I need to. Oh man. I came down with the flu a few years ago and I felt like death. Yeah, the flu is really bad. Like I remember having that at 7. Like it's something you don't forget. It literally does feel like death. Yeah, it's a uh, horrible feeling. It's worse than those 24-hour bugs that I got, um, for sure. Um, so I've gotten like flu shots, in my lifetime, but I just don't take it like that seriously. But I take this seriously. This new virus that exists that isn't the flu, um, because it's you know everybody knows everything about it. I mean, it's yeah, yeah, it's scary. Yeah, I got that mask for my birthday. And that it was a cool birthday gift that I had that I got. Uh, so I'm prepared for the winter. For sure. I got the Friday 13th box set for Christmas. It's really nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I got the Friday 13th box set. I did unboxing video for that, which was yeah, it was cool. I mean, I would have loved a 4K UHD box set for every single Friday film. I would have loved that. And even the 4K transfers, they're presented in 1080, you know, quality. They look good. Part 3 still needs a lot of work, you know. I don't know if like those old negatives of the movie are like screwed, if they can't go back and restore it, but Friday 13th Part 3 needs a restoration. It really does. There's so much dirt on the lenses. If you look back at the scenes, you can see the scratches on the screen. Like it's not the best looking movie, and I think because they were more focused, it needs to be extremely polished. That movie needs to be severely cleaned up. And if you know ever a bunch of millions of dollars would be spent into a restoration for not for the original, do it for part 3. Um, and I would digitally remove the dirt from those lenses in the scenes, like put something else over it, digitally remove it. I mean, can't they do that now? It's just kind of it's I didn't notice it so much. Well, it's harder to notice when you're watching it in 3D, but when you're watching it in 2D, is when you really notice it. I don't have 4K TV yet, but I do have a few 4K Blu-rays. Yeah, 4K is amazing. 4K is absolutely incredible. I love 4K. It's I mean, Blu-ray wowed me when it came out. I love Blu-ray, but 4K Blu-ray, I mean, there is a huge difference. It's may not be like a huge difference. 1080p still looks really, really good, you know? But 4K is like you see so much more detail. Like the picture's better, the sound is better. There's definitely a difference. Um, but it's amazing that even with this technology, you still can't reach the extreme quality of film because film can go up to 8K, right? Quality. So film is kind of better quality than digital. Uh, so it's really 4K HDR is mimicking film, 8K film. Um, but it's nice to see, movies look that sharp, and crisp, and you get all that detail. So I wonder if it's ever going to get that much better than 4K. Yeah, it will. 8K. 8K will be the next thing after 4K. I think 4K will be the standard for a while, but then 8K will take over, and then 8K will be the standard for resolution for like probably a good 5, 10 years, probably longer. Um, because 8K is insane. You know, I mean, to reach a resolution sharper than 8K, I mean, it would take a long time. So. I mean, 2K quality is really good. I thought 2K quality was good when that first came out. And then there was 4K and then 5K and like, oh, there's a 5K TV and, not 5K TV, 5K computer. Um, and, it's all this K. They want to always amp up the resolution for, um, you know, what's amazing is that, um, it's taken this long for Apple to come out with iMacs, MacBooks that are HDR, UHD. Because my iMac, even though it's 4K, it's not HDR. So I can't watch anything in HDR, only in 1080. And really, I can only edit in 2K. That's the highest format I can edit is in 2K. I can't edit in 4K. I can export to 4K, but I can't um, edit in 4K. So I usually will edit my films in a 1080p to 2K resolution uh, when I'm putting the together. Or will edit on like a 720p resolution. It's just too low quality. Um, I've heard 8K is only really noticeable on very large displays. For now, for now, I'm sure that'll change in the future. But it is cool, like, on your iPhone now, you can on Apple TV, if you have movies, you can watch, you know, if you have any films in HDR, then you can just watch them, with that resolution on your phone, and it's like, wow, you know? Um, the Oculus needs to catch up, virtual reality, 'cause, VR doesn't really support, HDR. Um it does support 4K. My Oculus Quest 2 is 4K. It's just not HDR because I've played movies, um, and like on Vudu, on the Vudu app. I mean, if you watch movies on Vudu on the Oculus, the quality is only 1080p. It's not a 4K. Um, so there's definitely a difference, and it doesn't give you the option to in the playback settings for HDR, UHD. It only gives you the option for um, SD and HDX, but not UHD. So I mean, it would be pretty cool, if the Oculus would have had that support. Um, but Amazon Prime, does play 4K, you know, movies, but I don't think it is really displayed in HDR. I think it's, displayed in that 1080p. Um, it's like lower down to 1080p when you watch it. But yeah, it's confusing for people, a lot of people because this is new. 8K is still very new. People are very used to 720p and 1080p. So to go to 2K to 4K, 8K, learning what is 4K, what is UHD, what is HDR. I mean, it's a lot, for people to figure out. But I say in like in the next few years, people are going to be used to this, technology a lot more than now. Um, like with anything, when DVD first came out, you know, was like, "What?" And I remember a lot of people didn't get a DVD player, right away. People had a VCR and people were fine with it, and they would rent movies from Blockbuster on VHS, new movies that came out over a DVD, and I didn't really see a lot of people have a DVD player until the mid 2000s. So DVD came out in the late 90s, and it really didn't kick off until half a decade. Um, so 4K, it's been around like this since what would we say 2018, and now we're in 2021. So I say the next couple years, 2 to 3 years, um, it's going to be more. Or it's going to become the norm. 4K. Uh, but 1080p is still going to be there. I think it's still going to be supported. I just don't think it'll be as welcomed as as it used to be. 1080p will be treated more as 720p because people now, I mean, now 720p is now considered SD, which 720p is still always to me like way better quality than 360 and 480. But you um, DVD was a massive leap from VHS, probably more so than Blu-ray or 4K. Oh yeah, biggest difference between any new way to physical media to watch films was DVD because VHS was VHS, you know, and the quality of the VHS wasn't, you know, the best. It wasn't horrible. I mean, at least back then we didn't find it bad. But I remember everybody saying the quality was better in the movie theater. And that's why the movie theater, I think, was more popular too. People would go to the movies a lot because they would get a better picture and sound out of the movie that they love. They want a better picture and sound, and you get a better picture and sound from that movie going to see it in the theater than if you watched it on VHS. Um, and people could clearly tell the difference between the quality of a film in the theater and then at home VHS. Um, there's only so far VHS could go. But even if you, like, go back to those THX VHSs, they they don't look, the best anymore, the quality, you know? So, DVD was a huge, difference of quality, massively. I mean, DVD had, Dolby sound or had, 5.1 sound or wasn't there something before 5.1 surround that was like it? was Dolby something, um, but it was big deal because VHS didn't have that, where like, you could actually now have a surround system, with your living room because the quality on DVDs were better, the sound was better, and your movies could sound like the movie theater. VHS, movies only could sound, so good, you know, compared to cinema. But DVDs were more in line with, how movies sound. Of course, now 4K sound, Blu-ray sound is insane. You get the experience from it, like, like wow, you know. Uh, so a lot has changed with surround sound since DVD, but DVD was the first time you ever had that. Wow, this sounds like a movie theater, or the quality of DVDs. I remember it was a little nauseating for me at first when with DVDs because the first DVD I ever watched was Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, and I thought the quality was like I was like, what? Because I always remember Star Wars on VHS or I'd see it in the theater, but I just don't ever remember the quality like that. Like when I saw that on DVD for the first time, I'm like, what? It was I had no words of how great the quality was. And other DVDs, I'm like, I almost felt like I was watching movies for the first time all over again. As what that experience was like. Um, it was like rewatching movies for the first time. And DVDs, you're able to really experience movies in a way that you couldn't with VHS. You were able to access gag reels, bloopers. You could watch the theatrical trailer on a DVD. Sometimes that'd be the only feature on a DVD would be the theatrical trailer, but that was like, oh, cool. There was scene selection. You could choose the scene of a movie you wanted. You could, you know, uh, there was behind the scenes featurettes. There were um, extended editions, special editions that came out, of DVDs. Um, it was a way of experiencing movies that no one ever experienced before, and it was definitely jaw dropping for its time. Um, Plus, all the special features and audio commentaries were amazing. Uh, yes, there you go. Another one, audio commentaries. You got to have audio commentaries. With DVD. You didn't get that with VHS. You couldn't there was no way. Unless they would create a separate VHS tape that was just a commentary, track. Um, with DVD, you were able to and they would have multiple, audio commentaries on DVDs too, like different people, you'd hear from you'd have like a costume designer audio commentary, or you'd have a full, you'd have the directors, you'd have the cast. Like audio commentaries were a big deal when they first came out. Audio commentaries are like they're not as special as they used to be, but when DVDs first came out, that's when audio commentaries were the best, and gag reels were the best too. That when DVD was, that first 10 years of DVD, it was absolutely groundbreaking. Um, Blu-ray was amazing as well. I love Blu-ray. I remember I was like, I have to have a Blu-ray player, and I remember I want a PS3 just because it had Blu-ray. Um, because I I was like, "Wow, Blu-ray quality, what's bl" I and I saw HD DVD, but I didn't quite understand what that was. The competition between HD DVD and Blu-ray was so quick, I didn't even know really what HD DVD was, um, but everybody was saying Blu-ray was better. I'd always hear that Blu-ray was better, and, I remember the first real Blu-ray experience I ever had with any movie was The Dark Knight. That was probably to this day my favorite Blu-ray experience of any film was The Dark Knight. That was the first time I ever experienced BD Live. I ever experienced, you know, where you could choose scenes from the movie to play, or you could listen to audio commentary, or you could go to special features while the movie was playing. Because the Dark Knight Blu-ray, there wasn't even a main menu until the end of the Blu-ray. The movie would just start. So I'm like, "Wait, where's the main menu?" I remember when I first saw that and I remember first watching it on my uncle's flat screen. This was 2008, and, and he had a PS3, and I was like, "Oh my god." And the detail, I just couldn't believe it, because I think he had a 60 frames per second TV, and I just couldn't believe how great it looked, and so I was blown away by it, even though, yes, DVD was groundbreaking. Blu-ray was groundbreaking as well. I would say more so than 4K, because that was the first time 1080p was introduced, 720p, and, there was a difference, and you could really very well notice it with the sound too. Everything was louder, you know, and, it was the first time where, like, audio, um, at home entertainment sounded like the movie theater, like, literally. That's why you would have, like, different tracks to choose, or there'd be, like, nighttime mode on your TV, because the dialogue scenes would be very low, and then the action would be super loud. So it was like really, you'd have to consistently have to turn the volume down, because it's like the sound was insane. You never heard that, and you never saw that. And like the fact that The Dark Knight was filmed with IMAX cameras, a big chunk of the movie, it made the Blu-ray look even better. I forgot. Oh yeah, they shot the scene in IMAX. Um, It was, yeah, that was probably my favorite Blu-ray experience, of any film, uh, but, yeah, DVD changed movies. It totally did. It definitely did, because it showed that, there was a world of cinema that was, more than just VHS, SD SD. I mean, we're talking 24, we're talking 240, resolution. There's more to uh quality of of a movie than 2040. Uh so definitely changed movies for sure. Scream 5 spoilers on Reddit avoid. Hello, Irish Rising Films. One of my subscribers since um 2011. Uh, Irish Rising Springs, Irish Rising, sorry, Irish Rising Films. Why was it Springs? Irish Rising Films helped helped me a lot when The Haunting of a Ghost Face came out. He created a TV spot, a fake internet spot, TV spot for the movie, and that was really cool of him. I'll never forget that. That was pretty cool. So, and yeah, he's always given me great movie advice throughout time. I've taken a lot of Irish Rising Films advice. Um, he definitely knows what he's talking about movies for sure. Um, but wow, spoilers on Reddit. How great, guys! I will definitely avoid spoilers. Why? It's the worst. The worst bit of avoiding spoilers is Scream. Seriously. Like, I found out on the back in 2011 who the killers were in Scream 4, and I still wish to this day I never knew, um, because it completely ruins it. It ruins it. You want to not know, you don't wanna know who the killer is, and you want that reveal to be a shock. I think that's why the Scream show was so fun, because there was no leaks ever, you know? Things never got leaked before the show came out. So when those killer reveals were in those seasons, I was actually surprised, and it felt like how I reacted to the killer reveals in the first 3 movies before I knew who the killer was. It definitely it ruined um, the suspense for Scream 4 going into it. That I knew I was basically watching the movie and just knowing who it was the whole time. It was kind of like, it wasn't as fun. It's supposed to be like a guessing game. It's supposed to be almost like Scream is like a board game. Who's the killer and here's the reasons or here's the theories and this character went here and here. It's kind of like a board game or something, and you don't want to know, you know, um, uh, the player's next move. You don't want to know what's going to happen, you know, and it's I'd really hate to find that out before it comes out. Like I found out things about Spider-Man: No Way Home before that movie came out, and it didn't ruin it for me actually. Thankfully, it didn't ruin it for me because the ending wasn't given away or anything like that. Um, there was only one thing that was leaked that was major, but aside from that, though, like Marvel's really good at hiding leaks and all that. But Yeah, I would hate that because I mean, at least with Halloween Kills, I mean, the ending wasn't leaked. Nothing was leaked for Halloween Kills. I mean, the studio kind of just leaked the movie themselves, with the trailers showing everything in those trailers. Um, but yeah, it will definitely uh, sort of ruin it for me if I know who the killers are. It's clearly not one person. I think we all can suspect that, especially just judging by the opening in the trailer. You can tell it's two ghost faces because there's the one that stabs her, Jenny Ortega, he stabs her in the stomach when she's running out of the door, and then she closes the door, and the door's locked and the hacking. Who's doing that? You know, is it that same ghost face, or is it the one that's in the house when she's, moving to that corner? Because then that ghost face grabs her from behind, and easily that ghost face could have went through a window or whatever, yada yada. But I get the vibe that it's two killers. I don't get the feeling that it's one killer. Um, One killer kind of would have made more sense for Scream 4 than two killers. For this film, two killers makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of time has passed, and um, I just feel like there's no way one person can do this stuff. I mean, how does one person do all this? It's unrealistic to me. So it kind of like it has to be two ghost faces because it makes the most sense. It was two ghost faces in the first two films, and those were it was very realistic because it's like, okay, two people work together, so this person did that, this person did that, so the killers, were out this it was like people would go back to the original film and be like, oh, Billy was on the phone, Stu killed this character, or Stu was on the phone in this scene, Billy went to do it. So people weren't like, wait, how did Ghostface do this or do that? It's like, oh, it's two people and they're being stealthy. It's I would be very surprised if they only did one killer. I actually would be very surprised if that's what they wanted to do. Um, but hopefully, it's two. Hopefully, um, and uh, and that they're not obvious. Let's hope that the killer reveals aren't obvious as well. That's always the worst is if the killer reveals are obvious. Because Billy was so obvious, in the original film. So you never want an obvious, kind of thing. But then Stu was a shock. That was surprising. When I first saw that movie, I was like, "What?" You know. So I hope this film can reach the standards of the original. Where it's like, "What?" You know. Um, that's definitely what we want to see as fans. But I am avoiding all the leaks, whatever. It's even sad that there's even leaks hearing about that. Thanks for letting me know, Irish Rising Films. I mean, this movie's coming out in like 15 days. What was it? 17 days? Or, I mean, it's like, come on. These leaks, these spoilers, it's just yeah, it's annoying. When you're excited for a movie and you don't want to know anything and nobody else wants to know anything about it, and then the stuff gets leaked, it's like, damn it, you know? Um, but yeah, are you guys looking forward to Scream 5? Um, it's happening, it's in less than a month, literally less than a month. I can't believe it. I really can't believe that another Scream movie is on its way. That's We're actually getting a new Scream film. It's crazy. Yet another downside of social media. Yes. Yes, Mario Mania. Yep. There you go. See how toxic social media is? How stuff gets leaked from movies and everything, people can no longer be surprised anymore. It's God, it's just lame. It's just social media is it's lame. Yeah, it's lame. It's just doing nothing but harm to our world, you know? Some good things. Only some good things in there. It's only doing some good things. But when it's doing more bad than good, you gotta look at it. Does it really belong in our world or not? You know? Because we did live in a world before social media, and we survived. Um, so let's see. Next year, I'm really looking forward to the Batman. I'm really looking forward to the Flash. I'm looking forward to Aquaman. I know I'm listing DC movies, but hold on. Um, I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange. And the fact that that's directed by Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi is doing a Marvel film that is extremely exciting, and there's no way that I mean, yeah, it's really cool that he's made a return to Marvel. Um, and then let's see. There's Halloween Ends. Yep. And uh, I have to look at a lot of movies that are coming out next year. I have to you know do more research on what's coming out next year. But yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. Um, and yeah, um, I mean, I think that's what I'm like most looking forward to next year. Batman looks really good. I only saw the first trailer. Yep. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I've been trying to avoid the trailers, but the trailers they're not too bad. They're not really showing. I don't really feel like they're giving the movie away. But you know, uh, that first trailer was like enough for me to like want to go see the movie. With that "Something in the Way" song, and that last shot of Robert Pattinson when he takes the uh the the like, the whole you know takes the Batman mask off, and it's dramatic. And you hear that narration, you hear that audio, you're part of this too. And he's like, "How am I a part of it?" And he says, "You'll see." And I think that's the Riddler. He's like, "You'll see." And you see the black around Robert Pattinson's eyes, and like his look. Oh my god, it's definitely one of the best trailers I've ever seen. And especially that was a trailer for a movie that wasn't even completed filming yet. You know, uh, that's what was so brilliant about that trailer. Um, and I got super excited just by that trailer. I think it was because it was less dialogue and it was more like the music and the atmosphere. And I feel like that's what makes a trailer work, is when you focus more on the suspense, not like, leaving up to the audience of how that scene will go, rather than showing them exactly how the scene goes. And having music that you know gets your attention and makes you wonder like how's this scene gonna go? How's this scene gonna go? Um, but yeah, that first trailer was absolutely incredible, and I probably rewatched that trailer like 50 times during the pandemic. I probably watched it 50, 60 times. Because it was so rewatchable, to hear the song again and again and again, it was just something so cool about the trailer. I was like, "Oh my god." So, definitely one of the best trailers of all time is that first trailer that came out for the Batman. So, I'm looking forward to what Matt Reeves has to pull off. I think this is something that's gonna be really awesome, you know? It's insane that we have all these different Batmans. There's Ben Affleck Batman, there's Michael Keaton's Batman, there's Robert Pattinson's Batman. It's overwhelming, you know? It's kinda like multiple Bonds, at the same time. It's like they did a Bond franchise and there was, like, 3 Bonds, at the same time. Um, but yeah, yeah, yep, agree, great song choice. It was great song, like, it fit that whatever Matt Reeves is trying to go for with the tone, I think it's trying to be really dark and gritty, and it seems like it's even darker than Christopher Nolan, which I like. It's like it kinda reminds me of, like, Michael Keaton's Batman, but darker, like, way, 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 way darker. But this is, of course, a completely different take and iteration of Batman. It's just in terms of this seems like the kind of Batman that Michael Keaton's Batman was like, where he's not as I have one rule, kind of thing. I think this Batman is going to be a lot more brutal, and we're going to see a Batman that we haven't seen in a long time, you know, um, or ever. This is going to be very interesting because they did some surprising stuff with Ben Affleck's Batman, but I think this is gonna be take everything to an entirely different level. And it's just kind of having to get used to Robert Pattinson. He's now Batman. He's not Edward from Twilight. And I grew up with Twilight. That was my teenage years. That was the franchise that I loved. I loved all those characters. It was so it's definitely, like, after he goes from a major character like Edward to Batman, it's, but Robert Pattinson, I think he'll pull it off, though. He's a methodic actor. He's I don't know, he has a certain, brings a certain, um, presence to his roles that's undescribable. So, maybe we'll have a very undescribable Batman, you know? Um I never really pictured him as Batman, but, now that it's been, 10 years since, the last Twilight movie, um, next year it'll be 10 years since the last Twilight film, uh, now I can kind of give this a chance and you know, fresh new eyes. I think if they would have done something with Rob Pattinson with Batman, like, right after Twilight, I don't think I would have took it seriously, and I don't think a lot of people would have took it seriously, but because so much time has, gone since then, um, I think people are gonna, give this a chance, and, seems like the most anticipated movie of next year, Matt Reeves the Batman, and that's gonna be, like, one of the first few blockbusters that comes out next year. Oh, yeah, that's the other one, Black Phone? I think that's what it's called? I'm gonna go see that next year. That looks really good too. Um, seems like we're getting a lot of good movies in January and February, which is not, um, usually the case with movies, from what we know, January and February are, like, the black sheep movies of the year, the bad films of the year. That's why they're released in January and February. But I think due to the pandemic, this is a little different. I think it's going to be different this time because, pandemic happened and release dates of movies. I think it's going to be a little different. I think he's going to do really well in the role. Yep, yep. Rob Pattinson, I think he'll do good. I mean, just judging by the trailer, he just got right into it, just like how he played Edward. He played Edward. He's a great actor. He just knows the character. You know, and I think that's why he has so much drama with the filmmakers when he works on all his movies. He seems very stubborn, but maybe that's a good reason. We know how the industry can treat people, and I heard he wasn't really treated well. With the first Twilight movie. The first two. It sounded like because the eye contacts that he had to wear were really painful for him, almost to where he said he didn't even have to act because the eye contacts were that painful. And then they did this like makeup with him, like and like certain prosthetics, and like it it was so bad to where by the time he got to Eclipse, he refused uh, to have his makeup done a certain way. So yeah, clearly Rob Pattinson's gone through a lot as an actor. He's dealt with a lot, and he handled Twilight very well. For him not to like Twilight, he didn't like the source material, he didn't like the books, he didn't like any of it. He still did all 5 movies, and he still did a great job. And that's an actor, you know. As whether you agree or disagree with the source material, the fact that you gave a great performance and you gave it your all, that's a methodic actor. That's a powerful actor. Um, but it sounds like a lot went on behind the scenes of the Batman with Matt Reeves and Rob Pattinson. It sounds like a lot of drama went on between the two. What I read, um, and it's amazing to me. It's amazing the movie even got finished after reading everything I read about it. Um, that Rob Pattinson had to get into shape, and that was halfway through filming, and then they had to like reshoot stuff, and then they talked about half of the movie Rob Pattinson will be in shape, and half he won't be. Like it's gonna be like I heard a lot went on behind the scenes, and it's just crazy stuff, you know. Um, but some of the best movies, is where a lot of drama happened, on set or with the actor and the director. A lot of times turns out that good because the director and the actor were that passionate about the role and that passionate about the character. But a lot of times it's creative differences, you know. So grab a sip of my drink. Yeah, sometimes when I talk, um, my throat can get dry. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. Hey Ryan. Hey Danielle Harper. How are you doing? Welcome to my live stream talking about the end of 2021 and talking about 2022. I have 3 people tuned in, which is great. I have 3 likes, so this is going really good. I'm probably gonna end the live stream in the next probably 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Um, oh, thanks. I don't know. This is really a hoodie, though. I don't think it's really a hoodie, but thanks. It's more a collar. Yeah. Um, I guess since you guys are in here, Irish Rising Films. If you're still in here, I can ask Danielle. Um, don't know if David's still in here. I don't know who all is still in the live stream. But I've been thinking about making my movies in a certain structure, and I've thought about it for a long time. But now with how our world's going, and not knowing what's going to happen, Maybe I'm trying to get advice from you guys, like your opinion. What would you guys think of if I wrote the characters um, to where they're afraid of this virus? It takes place during the pandemic, and um, characters are always remaining 6 feet away from each other. You know what I mean? Like characters are literally they don't want to be next to each other. Like I write the characters in the way that they're living how we're all living right now. Like you know, 6 feet away, and wearing masks. And that whole thing. Maybe instead of weapons like fake knives or whatever or pickaxe, maybe it's a bow and arrows. Maybe these double servants have bow and arrows, and then say certain death scenes, they could be done a certain way, with the way the world is right now. Like it would be a lot very technical and have to be done a certain way. But maybe if I don't know, I've just been thinking of ways that I could do it, shooting actors and you know same location, but maybe like different days, or have an actor go in there, they shoot their scene, take them out, spray stuff in there, and then bring another actor in there, and then have them sit in a different spot. Um, they're all wearing masks, every single actor wears a mask, and the characters are wearing masks, you know. So, what if it was written in that style, um, and it was done that way? I mean, would you guys still take the film seriously, or would it be laughable? Would it be, aha, it's only done this way because of the pandemic? Or would it be, yes, this is our reality. Clearly, he did everything he could to make these movies. It still turned out to be, you know, entertaining or whatever. Like, um, I don't know. I just want to get your guys' opinion about that. Um, unless, would you guys rather me wait till, I can make these films the way I used to be able to make them and make it like that? So should I wait another year, another 2 years to make my films, or should I go ahead and make them and do it is what it is? If you think it's going to improve the film, I'd say go for it. Well, I don't think it's going to improve the film. It's not going to improve the film. It's just it's going to give me the chance to make these movies uh, in the best way that I can make them right now. Um, so I don't. It's not gonna. It's not for improving the film. It's for just for the fact that I can. Only way I can make them. It's not really to improve upon it. Um, yeah, it's something I don't even really want to do. But I'm running out of options here. You know, and I just don't want to release the movie in that with that style, those 2 films, if they're done like that and people make fun of them or they think it's funny, you know, or comical. Even though I think it would be pretty interesting though, because it is something we are all living in right now, and to not ignore it in the plot, and actually dwell on it in the plot, might actually, you know, keep everything interesting. Um, or necessarily interesting, realistic. That's a better word, realistic. Um, because I wanted Double Servants to take place like in fall of 2018, fall of 2019, before the pandemic. Um, and then Cage of Madness Part Two would take place at the time now where this is happening, but it takes place in the year 2020. So whenever I make that film, it takes place during when lockdown, was happening. When we were in that lockdown. Um, I'd be down for it. It's your call, though. All right. Yeah, I mean, you gotta make movies. I gotta make my movies. And sometimes, you just have to work around them. You got to be creative, and you know, it's all you can do. You know. Now, of course, I would love to make a film that, you know, films where not every single character is wearing a mask. Um, uh, when we reach a point of normalcy, which I don't think we ever will, but if we do, um, then I would love to make movies that, where people aren't wearing masks. And I think that's why I want to get into making dramas, because they're completely different kinds of movies. And I think those are the kind of movies that I want to make after all this. So, um, yeah. I mean, thank you, Mario Mania, for, giving me your advice. It helps. Nobody else on here in the live chat has said anything. So, thanks. It's amazing when you have subscribers and you have people that care about your art and everything, but and then you ask them for advice, input, and they don't say anything back to you. I don't get that. Except if the person has anxiety. I have generalized anxiety disorder, so I understand. Sometimes it's, terrifying to write, when you're watching someone's live stream. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to say the wrong thing. You know, I get it. But any live stream I join, I always I'll put some comment on there. Like if someone asks, something and they say yay or nay or say yes or no, kind of stuff or whatever. It's good that you're somewhat engaged in the live stream if you're a part of it, you know. Um, yeah, I'd rather the person not announce that they're in the live stream if, they're not going to answer a question I asked them. Anyway. Um, yeah. So, I have the actors. I still have to get a few more actors, for both movies, but it'll happen, and uh, they'll be made in the best way I can make them, and that's just all I can do, you know. Um, it's definitely gonna be tricky. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be challenging, um, but that's like with any film. But this is gonna be double challenging, and it's gonna be something I've never done before. Movies I've never made like this before. Getting the actors tested, you know, before, making sure that, they're negative, and they can't spread the virus to someone else. I don't want to be responsible for that, so I would have to get the actors tested. And of course the social distance. That's why I'd literally write the characters where they're always social distancing from each other throughout the whole film. It'd be a little harder to do that with Insane because a bunch of characters all in like one room together, which is why I think I would shoot all of their scenes separate days. So one actor would be right here, one actor would be right here, one actor would be here, and it would just cut to them, and I would give the illusion that they're all in the same space, they're all in the same room. So it would do trick photography and editing tricks, and give the illusion that everybody's there, at the same time. And I've had to do that before even thinking about having to do this, um, I've had to do a lot of different things with my movies in the past. So, um, you know, uh, it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to 100% love, the experience, but I think I'll just be grateful that I'll be making movies, I'm making movies again. They're being made, you know. Um, Maybe I don't know. Maybe people not really responding in the comments, Mario Mania. Maybe that's not what people want. They don't just want to say that to me. Maybe they literally just don't want to put in the comments. You know, don't make the movie like You go, how hard is that? That's all you gotta say. You know, I'm rooting for you, Ryan. I'm sure it's going to turn out fine. Thank you, Mario Mania. I really appreciate that. I really do. A lot. Thank you. Thank you. The movie. Please like that. I think also if more people were tuned in the live stream, you know, uh, people would be commenting like that. Don't make the movies like that, or make the movies like that. Um, it's really sad that I had to write that. Thank you, Mario Mania. I'm not like pointing any fingers at you or whatever. Um, I just get I get upset when people aren't as engaged in the live stream like I wish, because then I feel like, am I boring? You know, am I a boring person or something? Um, People tend to pop in and out lately. Yeah, yeah. It's just kind of like, oh yay, people joined, and then they leave, and it's like you feel like your live stream is just kind of like, I don't know, sometimes a waste of time. I had one live stream one time where it was like literally nobody joined, and I was like, oh, well, that's that. So that's why I don't necessarily enjoy live streaming. I wouldn't want to do it every day, but I feel like if I did do it every day, then maybe I would get a lot more people. But yeah, a lot of people do live stream on YouTube. It's like I'm not. It's not if I maybe if I was the only person, or like you know uh, one out of the 10, only 10 people that are live streaming, then maybe I probably would get a lot more people in here. But there's hundreds of YouTubers right now live streaming. So, you know, yeah, it takes a lot to, you have to keep people engaged. This is the TikTok era. So if something doesn't happen in less than 30 seconds, that is like, oh my God, skip. you know, I don't think it's boring. I think we've had some really engaging discussions. No, I'm not talking about you, Mario Mania. No, 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 no. Yeah, I know you don't think I'm boring and stuff. That question is asking like other people. Anybody is tuning in, you know, aside from you, Mario Mania. Then I know I have a couple other subscribers that if they could join this right now, you know, uh, they would definitely talk more in the, the top the live chat. Now we have 3 people, so it's you, Mario Mania, and 2 other people, and watch how quick they'll leave. Oh, do 3-hour stream. Um, I think I'll do this live stream up until 9:30. Yeah, probably till 9:30. So that would be 3 hours. Yep, pretty much 3 hours. It's pretty much 3 hours. Yeah. So it's like the length of a superhero film. You know, I like that you can like create polls too. Make my next 2 films. Should I? I don't even know how to ask this question, you know? The Trying to think of like what how to create this poll. I'm trying to create a poll right now. I'm not trying good title for it. Let's see. Films with they only give you so many characters too. Okay. Keep the stream, keep the stream. Okay, you don't have to repeat yourself 3 times in a row. I will keep the live stream. Click on the poll thing. Should I make my next 2 films with COVID incorporated? 100% yes. Okay. So no no's. I mean, I don't know why you guys would want me to wait 1 to 3 years to make my films anyway. I'm sure you guys want these movies much sooner than, than that. So, but, I don't wanna put anybody in danger, at the same time. I don't wanna put anybody in danger with these variants, and all this that's happening. There's only so much you can do, you know, prevent from, and that'd be the worst thing ever is if someone because of one of my movies, someone got, you know, you know, one of the variants. um, Scream Kills. Yep. You know what? I don't know if they'll use that title though, because Halloween Kills has already been it's already been used. I mean, they could, but Scream Kills, uh, that's just not a fitting title. They should really do something like Scream Again. Scream Again. Scream Again and Scream Forever should be the titles of the next 2 Scream movies. Scream Again, Scream Forever, because it should always be catchy with the word scream. So Scream Again, Scream Forever, that it makes sense, It's like, "Oh, the next movie, Scream Again, Scream Forever," you know? but Scream kills? How do I mean, so I would just think that that means, oh, if you scream, then you can kill somebody by screaming, you know? Scream louder. Yes. Oh my god, sorry. That is a good one. Scream louder. That's a good one. That's a good one. That would be a good title. Yep. Yeah. That's a good sequel title. Yeah. Scream louder. Yep, because it sounds fitting. It sounds, if they don't want to go with the numbers, scream louder. So yeah, scream again, scream louder. That fits as well. Um, so they're definitely gonna do something like that, and definitely Halloween set the stage of you can call your titles this, over the top, you know, such as calling a Halloween film Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, you know. Um, when I first heard those titles, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, I was like, Halloween Kills, does that mean that this movie's just gonna be a kill count? And then Halloween Ends, I was like, Halloween will never end. What does that mean? Halloween ends. Halloween doesn't end. It's always gonna keep going. Like there's no I mean, they could I mean, we don't know what the plot's gonna be and what they're gonna do, but to me, Scream ends I'm sorry, uh Scream ends, oh my god. Halloween ends. I think what that would mean is that Haddonfield has banned Halloween. They no longer celebrate it. It's a relevant holiday for Haddonfield. It doesn't even exist. People have gotten rid of their decorations. Like nobody's celebrating it, because of what happened. And that would give you the vibe that Halloween has ended in terms of, in Haddonfield it has. So for Michael Myers to go on a killing spree Halloween night, without people dressing up, and all this stuff, he would be, a little more out in the open. He'd have to be more stealthy. So automatically, this film has to have more suspense, because there's just no way that, if they're incorporating, you know, the pandemic into it, then, yeah, it's going to be a completely different movie than the last two films. It might feel like, you know, like a big shift, a big change from the last 2 movies, because Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills are very similar movies, and you could actually watch both of them as one long movie if you wanted. Like, they're very similar cinematography, and, they're very similar films. I think Halloween Ends is gonna be a completely different movie, you know? And I hope that his mask is new, I hope it's not that mask that you get at the end of Halloween Kills. It's all bloody, and stuff. I mean, we've seen how many times have we seen Michael Myers' mask messed up, where it's been stitched up or ripped or dirtied or I mean, like, stop with the gritty mask. You know, Give us the classic white polished mask, from the original movie. That's why I love the flashback scenes in Halloween Kills, because we got the original mask. I love those scenes with Michael in Halloween Kills, because we get to see 21-year-old Michael Myers, with that original mask, and it's just, something about the original mask that's just so it's terrifying because it's so simple and it's pale white, and it's just something so frightening about it. It's scarier when it's pale white mask than when it's all zombified. It doesn't they don't need to do that to or mess the mask up for it to look scary. The mask is scary already, and it's that breathing that Michael, that breathing under the mask that is kind of even scarier, because Michael doesn't talk, all he does is breathe, and it's just something so terrifying about that. So, since it is Halloween Ends, or like, oh, this is the last Halloween film, Go out with a bang, give them the original 1978 mask, and do that. Give us the 1978 mask. I would love that. Absolutely love that if they gave us the 78 mask for the final film. It's like, hey, we've messed up the mask, all these sequels. Here is the best one. This is the, exact 1978 mask, It would be pretty cool because then it would kind of feel they could give us certain shots that would remind you of the original a lot more because of the mask, and would give you the vibes, wow, this is really ending. This is the last movie. They could do a lot more stuff with it. I don't know. If they just keep with the same mask from Halloween Kills, I don't know. It's it's just it's so Rob Zombie, I mean, why? I mean, it made sense with Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills that he was given a mask that was old because it still looked like the original mask, and then it got a little more messed up in Kills, but it's like, okay, that mask is done. The original mask is done, you know. Uh, give him a new one, but I don't think they will. I think they're gonna stick to that mask, and it's gonna look all decayed and you know all right. I mean, it's the last movie. You know what I mean? It's the last one. It's like okay, but yeah. I hope you do more fan films of Scream. I've said that I eventually will make a Scream fan film called New Ghostface, which is it's not connected to the first four movies, but it is. It's like the new nightmare for the first or all six of the Scream fan films that I've made. Um, it would kind of be a new nightmare kind of thing in a tribute to Wes Craven as well. Um, where I would play myself, my sister would play herself, and it would be a storyline about um, a subscriber, uh, someone that watches my YouTube channel is obsessed with the Scream fan films and starts killing the actors from those movies and is targeting me and my sister, and we have to work together to take down this ghost face. So it would be a different kind of film from all the previous Scream movies, but it would be my most meta and the most Scream out of all my Scream movies. It would be the most one that would feel like a Scream film instead of trying to do something else with it. So, um, yeah, I have that planned, King V, but that's about it. I don't plan to do any other Scream fan. I've done 6. I'm happy with it, I already have my new Nightmare storyline plot, there, the film I eventually would like to make. Um, but that's it, though. I've done what I wanted. I've done what I wanted to do, really, with Scream. And now what I have to do is go back to the first four films and re-edit all of them. I have to re-edit all of them, and because they're all the fourth one just got blocked in all countries. The Destiny of Ghostface Part Two. Spent so much on that. I spent so hard work on that movie. Like I I I I I I spent so much time into that movie where I mean I put everything into Destiny Part Two, and now it's blocked worldwide, and nobody can watch it because of some 30 seconds of copyright. Out of all the 20 copyright songs that are in that movie, something that's 30 seconds that it's so ridiculous. But what I have to do now is go back and re-edit all 4 movies and take out all that copyright music, and they're gonna be, like, completely different films. They're gonna be similar, but I think they will be improved, though. I think going back and doing special editions to them, because I have to do them. It's not like I wanted to, I have to. Because if I don't, then people won't know these Scream fan films, like the series and stuff. And I can't let time keep going on and on with people like, wait, why is this video blocked, or why is this audio swapped, or it's just not a good introduction from people join my, when people subscribe and watch my channel. It's they want to watch all the films, and it's like, well, why can't I watch this one? And then it confuses people, the plot, the storyline, you know. So I have to go back and go through all those 4 movies, and it's gonna be a big task. And it's not gonna happen right away. It will be for a little while. Um, Definitely plan to, after I complete filming The Devil Servants, not filming, complete editing The Devil Servants and Cage of Madness Part 2, Insane Cage of Madness Part 2. Um, yeah, once those are on YouTube and that's in the past, then I will, go through the first 4 Scream fan films, go excuse me, I'll go through a remaster, and, I'll remaster all of them in the best way I can. I'll add a HDR to it, anything for it to look, you know, the best it can look, and, um, yeah, it's it's really too bad, YouTube, and all this copyright stuff. I mean, it's like, if as long as I'm not making money off these movies, I don't have a Google partnership. I don't even have a Google partnership, like, if as long as I'm not making any money off of it, no ads, no anything, then what is the problem? It's so ridiculous, and they don't even give you the option to, like, remove the copyright music out of the video, but keep the audio of the video. Like, anything that's in there that doesn't have music in it, like the parts of the video that don't have any music, and then to give you the option to maybe, yeah, replace those certain segments of the movie with different music. They should give that option to, you know, people that are on their platform, because clearly this stuff happens all the time, and people don't want to have to change the video and change everything about it, or have to, do it on their editing program or whatever. If you can simply do it on YouTube, and fix it, great. That's better than nothing. But to completely remove the video, or to just block it worldwide and not give you any option, it's like you're screwed. You have to start over, and it's a big slap in the face. So, um, so not looking forward to it, but at the same time, I am a little bit, because it will be fun to revisit certain things about those movies again, and then gag reels. You guys are going to get bloopers, from, Destiny to Ghostface Part 1, Part 2, and the Miner versus Jason the Ghostface story, because I'm going back to all the movies. There'll be more gag reels. So it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be a long process, but it's something that I have to do. But anyway, seems like this live stream is done. Um, uh, I don't. I think it's only you, Mario Mania, that's still in here. I think everybody else left. Um, so anyway, yeah. So I think that's gonna be I'm gonna conclude my live stream now. Um, the end of 2021. What a year, you know, where none of my movies were made. One of the only years where none of my movies were made at all. But guys, what a year. It was quite a journey. And then we have next year, that it all goes well. And good luck, guys. Stay safe out there. Wear your masks, get your boosters, do everything you need to do, uh, and be strong, you know. You guys just be strong. That's what I'm trying to do is be strong. That's all we can do. And for all of us to, be nice to each other or support each other. And yeah, I will make a video, Happy New Year video. And I believe I will do a live stream on the 1st. My very own New Year live stream. I've never done it, but why not? I'll see how many people join, and nobody joins, nobody joins. They do, they do. Great. But thank you guys for tuning in. And anybody that watches this later, if you missed the live stream, thank you for watching it. If you did watch it all the way through, I know sometimes I can get boring, but I don't try to ever be boring. I always try to keep everything engaging and interesting as best as possible. But thank you, Mario Mania. You're best moderator ever. And I'll talk to you all very soon. All right. Have a great rest of your week, guys. And I will talk to you all again on New Year's and when it's 2022. All right. Peace.